This year in the Western Conference, the Houston Rockets are currently sitting at the number three seed with an impressive 12-6 record, a big improvement from last season. What do you think is contributing to their success this season, and why are they such a different team?
Yeah, man. I think it's just the evolution of being a young team and building a culture there and trying to build a team that's going to be formidable, not just now, but also in the future. And I really like how the Houston Rockets are building their team. I think that they're building their team around a lot of high-level athletes. You look at Jalen Green, he's a high-level perimeter player athlete. You look at Jabari Smith, a really good athlete at his position. Torrey Eason is a really good athlete on the perimeter as well. Amen Thompson is a high level athlete. And Aaron Holiday, he's a really quick guard that they have on their team as well. So they're building their team around a lot of athletic players. And what that allows you to do is be really good on the defensive end and get out in transition. That is something that this Houston Rocket team does very well. They're really good at ball pressure. They have the athletes and the layers of players to throw at opposing ball handlers on other teams, and they disrupt a lot of their opponents' offensive flow, which allows them to get steals and get deflections or get the rebound and get out in transition and score points that way. So I really like how they put pressure on the ball with their athletes and force other teams to make mistakes. And that allows them to kind of get into their bread and butter, which is getting points in transition. So I really like how the Houston Rockets are playing this year. I really like how they are building their team. I think it's going to be good for regular season success. And I don't know how many games they're going to win. I think that they have kind of surprised me based off of what I projected for them this season so far. But I think they're in a really good position. The only thing is, I don't really trust them in maybe a playoff setting or maybe if you get in close games necessarily, because I don't really think their half court offense is efficient enough. Right now, they're currently 23rd or somewhere around like the bottom of the league in terms of half court offense. So that is something that they have to get better at as they continue this development of their young team, get better in the half court offense. Right now, they rely heavily on Van Vliet and Jalen Green to just create offense for them. They have to figure out how they can become more efficient on the offensive end in the half court. But if you just look at teams like the Boston Celtics, the Warriors, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Cavs, all of these teams are at the top of the league in terms of their record. And the Houston Rockets are the fifth team right behind all of those teams in terms of record in the NBA right now. And what do all those teams have in common? They are built around athletic players and they get up and down. They're really good on defense and they thrive in transition. So those are some really good qualities that you can have on a team. And I think that the Houston Rockets are building towards that kind of a mold of a team that the NBA is kind of moving into. So that's what I think is really going on with the Houston Rockets. And I really like the direction that they're going with their young team.
Yeah, and the Rockets are definitely one of the youngest teams in the NBA. And like you said, I think they're really playing to their youth. They kind of remind me of the Memphis Grizzlies a few seasons back, where they were struggling in the half court offense, but they were able to be so extraordinary defensively and get out on the break. And yes, I agree with you as well. When it comes to playoff basketball, you want to be able to have that ability to score in the half court and not have to rely strictly on fast break points. So if they're lucky enough to be able to make it to the playoff setting, whether that's through the play-in or they're able to sustain the success and stay within the 1 to 6 seed, you're going to want to be able to have that ability to score half court and half court offense. And, I think they have the talent to do so. I really like what they have within Jalen Green, and I like Alperen Sengun a lot. Also with the veteran leadership of Fred VanVleet, hopefully he can have kind of a good season this year. But that's definitely what you want to see. But yeah, for regular season games, it's going to get you a lot of wins. Speaking of wins, they've had some noticeable wins against the Thunder, the Spurs, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks. These were all within week 1 and 2, so those teams were still fairly healthy. They played the Warriors very well, only a 6-point loss. The Warriors are currently number one in the Western Conference as of today, November 24th. They had a win against the Knicks. You just go down the line. They beat the Clippers twice. The Clippers have been a fairly surprising team this year as well. So they're getting some quality wins, not just wins against bad teams, but they're beating some good teams. The Pacers are included in that win column as well, a team that's had good success last year. But yeah, I think they have the talent. I think consistency is something they definitely were
Yep.
missing from the beginning of this sort of rebuild. As long as they continue to grow, I think they'll see more success come. They were able to get some momentum going into the end of last season, as we've all known. They really had a chance to make the play-in, and they fell short of that goal. But I think that they have the confidence. I think they had enough experience and years under their belt together. That's very important as well. Continuity within your roster is very important. I think Emi Udoka is making some changes this year that we're seeing them be able to even get out on the fast break, because in order to do so, you have to get stops and you have to rebound the ball. And I think I saw as far as their team this season, they're first in rebounds per game. So that's very impressive, and they're doing a lot of scoring off of that as well. So as long as they stay within their identity and do what they need to do and figure out ways to improve their half court offense, which is a big if, I think they have a chance to be a scary team that you can run into because of that youth that we mentioned before. So I'm very impressed. They're one of the teams that have kind of turned their trajectory around as far as from season to season. We know last season they struggled a lot until the end of the year. And I think they carried that momentum into this season. I think they're a team that's fun to watch and definitely have a chance to be within the mix if they can keep this up.